Meet Michaele Jordana, the Canadian singer who defined punk glamour with her smashing good looks and daring wardrobe, leading her innovative rock group, Michaele Jordana and the Poles. She picked up the first Juno Award for Best New Female Singer. With the help of producer and rock heavyweight Doug Pringle, she scored a solid success with her first album, Romance at the Roxy. And that album won her a coveted nomination for the Canadian record industry's Juno Award.
Live from the
City TV's Jeannie Becker caught up with Michaele at the Junos.
I was very flattered, and I thought it was just an incredible thing that I was nominated. I mean, this was my hobby 3 years ago, and suddenly it's real.
This was a big night for Michaele Jordana. Not only was her first album released, but she also got the chance to play live at the CN Tower.
I met her in her dressing room just before she went on stage. We rode up to the top of the tower together. With hundreds of people waiting to greet her, she was obviously excited.
Do you sort of feel that this is, in a way, your commercial debut with the album just out?
I think so. I think so. I mean, this is the radio broadcasting center of the world. It's the highest thing, and we're going to make the Guinness Book of Records.
And you're going to be the highest act I bet they ever had here.
1, 2, 3, 4.
But Michaele Jordana hasn't just achieved success as a rock singer. She came into music from the cultured world of fine arts. And if she seems at home with a paintbrush in her hand, well, that's because she first achieved recognition in her early 20s as one of Canada's foremost realist painters. City TV's J.D. Roberts was curious why a painter would want to become a singer.
Michaele, you were an artist, and a pretty successful one at that. You had pictures in the National Gallery, the Canada Council. You even had some showings in the Isaacs Gallery. But how did Michaele Jordana, the painter, become Michaele Jordana, the musician, or the musical artist?
Well, I think it was an act of possession, you know, when you become possessed by a spirit that's floating in the air, and somehow it's telling you, it's controlling your life and telling you which way to go. So I went to the North Pole, and it's very pure, it's very molecular, like there's a lot of energy, electricity there, and you feel like pretty much like a baby, I guess. And what happened to me was I came back singing. I had a lot of stories to tell, pretty primitive stuff.
Michaele's paintings are remarkable. Huge airbrushed canvases of whales rendered with an emotional edge that overwhelms the viewer. This one, called Oceans of Blood, condemns the senseless slaughter of whales. Its companion piece in Canada's National Gallery is 16 feet long and 8 feet high, a tribute to the Inuit. But the artist says her painting and making music have a lot in common.
So when you're painting with an airbrush, you've got different colors, different textures, and you're constantly juxtaposing them. And it's like when you make up your face, you've got diamond dust, and you put layers of diamond dust over it to get the effect that you want. And it's the same with creating art. You're working with levels, spaces, to create a three-dimensional realism. And when you're in the studio, you hear on planes, everything has its own space. So it becomes a three-dimensional reality. And when I'm in the studio, I go into it the same way as I would as if I were painting.
On the ice floes of the Arctic Ocean, the shy painter met the whales face to face, and she was incredibly moved.
When the whales were calling, you could hear it. Oh, it's so high and so clear, and it buzzes right through your being. At nighttime, we'd be sleeping, and it would be monitored right through into our dreams. The sounds of the whales are very subliminal. They're very, eerie sounds like you're alone in space or under the water. There's no gravity, but you can barely hear these sounds. And yet they were monitoring our dreams, so that all the time we were sleeping at night, the animals were coming through us, right?
Returning from the Arctic, Michael resolved to become a performer. With Doug Pringle's music and 2 tons of ice blocks, she created a ritual performance called The Rites of Nuliayak.
I am Nuliayak. My kingdom is the sea. Once I was human. I was one of you. But in your anger, you cast me out. Threw me from a boat. You chopped off my fingers as I tried to hang on. And now, I reign over the creatures of these icy waters. The creatures without hands.
I feel I sense things before they come. I sense things, and like a shaman in a primitive culture was somebody who went out and they danced and they made art, like on the caves of Lascaux, those little drawings of the deer and the bison, right? Those were magic drawings. Those were done to, to get the deer to come to them for food and for beauty or for whatever reason they wanted. And I think that I can't take myself all that seriously, right? I don't even know what I'm doing. But I know that there are times when I have no choice. Like I got to do what I'm doing. And if it takes a form of dance or painting or sound, I'll do whatever I can to make that technical side really good, But I have no control really over what's coming out of me. That's kind of like the shaman, just using how you feel.
Michael's career took off after that. Douglas told Global's Peter Feniak it was almost inevitable.
We just got back to the city from this whiteout and walked into the punk scene and said, hey, this is survival. This is the same thing. It was amazing.
You know what people say about the punk scene? They say it's nihilistic, that it's without values, that it's destructive, that it's anti-art.
That's what's going on all around us.
Well, that could have been in some level, but I think that, punk rock was like just a rebellion against what was happening, period. And I think that my paintings were a rebellion against what's happening. I mean, that's pure punk, is when you're standing up for purity.
You can keep growing, you keep changing.
You're a rebel till you become a millionaire.
Hey, can you hear the rock and roll? Do you ever get nervous before a gig? Oh, just... Yeah.
Michaele Jordana. In her career so far, she's stunned audience after audience with her fresh and unique approach to art, music, and style. And now that she's had her first child, we're looking forward to the exciting new dimensions Michaele Jordana is ready to explore.